Hello, everyone. I am Anna. Welcome back to the Diary of Atomic Love. Today, we're going to talk about human control, why the end is really the beginning. Today's message is from Colossians 3:1-4. Since you have been raised with Christ, seek the things above, where Christ is seated at God's right hand. Set your minds on things above, not on things here on earth, for you have died, and your life is hidden with the Christ in God. When Christ, who is in our life, appears, you too will appear with him in glory. In this verse, we are told how our earthly Christian life begins in baptism, and it ends by being raised in Christ in relation to his death and resurrection. But what happens in the middle? That's the question. We know about the beginning and the end, but what happens between the beginning and the end? Well, let me tell you, I am sad to be the one who must bring the bad news. Many who were born to Christ in baptism will not end in eternity with Christ. It is between 1 Timothy 1:19, where Paul says to Timothy, some have made a shipwreck of their faith, and their journey ends shipwrecked. But that is not what God intended for you. You heard what I said when I spoke to you yesterday. We are supposed to be love, continue in faith, being grounded in it, and enter through the redeemed gates. Yet people live their lives as though they can't see the reality of the hellish ending that they are traveling toward, because they can't let go of their human control. Now, I shared part of my story. You will hear more about it as we move along. But today I want to share a common scenario that occurs with all of those who are unawakened. And this scenario, it is what brings us to awakening. And if you are not yet awake or awakened, this will make you perhaps a little uncomfortable or angry. And if you are awake, well, you will relate to it. And I'm about to show you the behavioral mind game that occurs when you meet up with an avoidant or someone who reflects their trauma onto you. Now, when you meet this person, your whole world is going to seem right. You will instantly relate to them because this person wants a partner who doesn't threaten their self-reliance and purposely seeks people who are independent. They'll like it when you're happy, and it makes them certain that they won't have to work very hard to meet your needs. They'll like that you know what you want and you mean what you say because they know that you're not a game player. They want someone who's smart, resilient, and composed. They will compliment you. They will act confidently. They will give you direct communication. They'll be emotionally strong. The truth is that they really want a loving partner who is intelligent and understanding. They want intimacy. And they'll loosen their boundaries to let you in. They'll be thoughtful, kind, loving, and physically interested in you. They'll do nice things for you. And in some cases, they'll even say they are falling in love with you. But most often, it is an illusion. And it can be intoxicating to those who give their unconditional love because you will fall for them quickly. But what they really want is for you to be okay with distance. They want quality time on their terms. They'll guard their schedule. They'll require you to be emotionally vulnerable. And in a romantic relationship, sometimes they even want to have sex with you, which makes it easier for them to express their affection. They like to cuddle, but they don't like prolonged affection. And like a lot of this gets missed because in the first few months of dating, you don't really know that person very well. And you can't tell by their actions where they are in the relationship. And you believe what they say, and their actions seem to match their words. But once you start to know them better, after around 3 or 4 months, you begin to question some of the behaviors that they're now starting to relax. And they might even share things with you that bring you to understand that intimacy makes them feel judged or is painful for them because of their past relationships. And when you question them, this is their attempt to keep some type of peace so that you don't leave. What you are seeing, though, is the true nature of who they are. You begin to realize that they don't get too close or too vulnerable. And it becomes a little confusing. And then when you question it, they become threatened. And the truth of this relationship is that this person is hurt, frightened, and has likely lived through some kind of trauma. And your unconditional love threatens their sense of control and emotional safety. And this is their worst possible fear. They've been found out. And they now feel trapped and they start to back away. They'll tell you that they need air because the vulnerability is just too much for them. And if you dare to say you want to talk about the relationship, well, it might as well then be over. They'll call you controlling. They will create an outburst in you, even when you're not really usually like that. That is avoiding accountability. And once you communicate that you're uncomfortable and you bring that to the table, it is received by them as an attack. And instead of accepting your perception and talking about it, like in a solid relationship, they'll try to control how you perceive that. And they'll try to maintain their self-image. They will invalidate you and they'll try to get you to perceive that you are the problem. And you just want to get back to what you thought that you had with them. And you make the decision to pause the relationship because you identify that they are unpredictable and chaotic. And the sudden changes that they have made over the last couple of weeks, and you identify that they are uncertain. You start to withdraw for your own protection. And you fight back and you want to be understood. And the person trying to control will make you feel invalid and they will likely even gaslight you. They'll say terrible things to you that cut very deeply. Things that you did to be nice. They'll call you controlling. But the truth is that that is their own mirrored projection because they are losing their own self-control. You are the one that are grounded and trying to communicate. And you want to have an adult conversation because, well, this is an adult relationship, but they're trying to force you to doubt yourself. And this is how they control the situation and protect their self-image. And when you react in a defensive way because you know that they're being hurtful and that they know that they are, they will blame you for even the nice things that you did for them, making you sound horrible. And you're going to have to decide at that time if you're going to fight or flight. You push back and they realize that you're not going to take it. And they are losing control of you and the ability to transfer their own fear and rejection and their own disapproval. And so they work harder to control it. They can't have direct control and they can't control you. So now they are losing control. And in fact, they'll tell others that you're trying to control them. This is an unhealed, broken trauma being exposed. And you realize that they have lied and they were never available from the beginning. And you tell them that they lied about it and you call it out. Then you become dismissed and they will likely ghost you. And the behavior is incredibly disorienting. It causes attachment trauma and it is re-traumatizing for those who have healed from past abuse. And the truth is that you need to leave that relationship. You are not controlling. You are not crazy. So don't allow them to project their fear onto you. So you take flight and the fighting is finally done. You are trying to communicate in a relationship that you believe to be safe. And you realize that you are being disrespected. And though it is true that you might have lost it in your response, and you have a responsibility for that part because only you are responsible for your own behavior. You know that they pushed you and they did it to dysregulate your nervous system because if they can get you to react and act out, it is easier then to blame you. And you choose to leave the unhealthy relationship and you took control. And they tried to gaslight you because you need to be blamed. They try to blame you. And they can't face their own behavior. And the truth is, though, that God closed that door. Because accountability and responsibility does not exist with this type of person. And it is betrayal. And you were brave enough to call it out. You found their self-image is not is important, and you found out that they feel like their self-image is more important than you. It is devastating. Now I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure of that. It's because it happened to me. You see, they're used to being the one to end the relationship. But in my case, I beat them to it. And they remained distant and they went straight into another relationship. And I'm sure because it's usually with someone that they've already been talking to for weeks before your relationship ended. And when they got to the 3rd or 4th month, they knew it was just a matter of time until you figured them out. And this is a repeating pattern for them. This person is an avoidant because of neglect, rejection, inconsistent childhood care, lack of emotional support, trauma as a child, or negative adult relationships. And it can happen to any gender, but most often it is men. It is self-sabotage, and it is a defense mechanism. And the only way to fix it is to choose to heal from it. And this person will only do one of two things. They will go directly into additional relationships, one right after another, hurting others every few months, or they will choose to heal. But by this time, you are long gone, but still hurt all the same. So what happens next depends on you, because this creates your template going forward for how you expect to be treated. And it is going to shape every relationship, especially romantic ones, from here on out. And you will sit alone trying to reconcile it. You will take inventory of who you are. And now that you're aware you will have experienced it yourself, you will move forward cautiously. But you are darn sure of one thing. You will remain tuned in and avoid anyone who seems this way in the future. You might even be a little afraid. And you have no idea that soon you will be faced with an unbelievable realization. Because you will be given the choice to awaken to who you really are. Because you really did absorb some of their behavior. And you really did get damaged. And you got deeply hurt. But if you choose to awaken, you are on your way now to a special kind of healing and finding true divine love in Christ. But as you heal and become more awakened, something happens. And this is the hardest truth that you will ever face. Ever. And again, I'm telling you this because I did it. This avoidant, they really did love you. Their behavior sure didn't show it there at the end, but it is true. And you can feel it. And they ran because they fell in love with you, and they just can't face that. They loved you deeply, but they don't know how to show true love. They would not have relaxed their boundaries if they didn't. And they have trouble trusting. And they pulled back when you realized it. You were important to them, but it moved too fast and it was out of their comfort zone. And if this person shared personal stories, fears, or hopes that they would have normally kept private, this is not what they would normally do. This is a significant step outside of their comfort zone, which shows that they began to trust you. And they might have verbally said, I love you, or even that they miss you. They might even have begun to believe that you wouldn't reject them like everyone else. But because they self-sabotage, this pattern continues in their life, and they can't escape it. It is the worst possible scenario for living a loving and God-centered life. It is paralyzing fear and vulnerability. A heart who wants the connection, desires love, and chooses distance by shutting down emotionally because it got too real for them. It is frustrating and hurtful for both people. And for me, I have said in the past that it's like eating at a 5-star restaurant, but having the inability to taste the food. And because you are healing and understanding love, true love, you have come to realize that this truly was never about you. But by this time, you have moved ahead in love. Love for you, love for God, and love for others. And they are now on their 3rd or 4th person since you. Now, in this situation, you can only remain silent and remain in your own corner. It is tricky. There is no way to know if this person will choose to heal, but you need to. You need to move ahead without them. Because if you choose you, You will nurture yourself. You will find help. You will practice self-compassion. You'll trust yourself. You'll focus on self-growth. You will choose discernment and make the best choices in your new connections. And you are in the right place right now because this is a good place to begin or complete your healing process. The ending, it is now about to become your newest and greatest beginning. Your awakened life is beginning or has begun. And you have found that love is not born of thought because thoughts are fear, and that is who they are. You are love because love is freedom. And you have found that in joy and peace because you know that you are here for love. Because awakening, it changes absolutely everything. Join me tomorrow when we discuss abandonment wounds. In a world where you could be anything, my friends, choose to be love. Love is the answer. If this resonated with you, please like and share my post. And thank you for your donations to Minded by Mission and for helping me to keep my messages alive. I'll see you next time.